Then Philippines in second place with a 1-on-1 record, and India propping things up at the moment with an 0-3 record. Just remember the caveat that due to certain issues, Korea were part of this group. They're no longer part of this group. So these three teams already have qualified through to the second round. But there is a massive caveat on that qualification, and that is that every single result from this first round of qualifiers travels with them through to the second round. So every game is vitally important. Filipino team now being introduced to the crowd, and what a young roster we have here. Very few players 25 years or older. This really is the next generation of talent from the Philippines on show, and you can see, and here in fact, the support that they've got as they come onto the floor here in Auckland. But what a team, and what a structure that Filipino basketball has become. Coach Vucinic is in charge. They've had some turbulent times off court. Coach Vucinic is only in charge for this qualification window. We're now going to have the home team introduced, and Coach Cameron has brought together a huge amount of firepower for this qualification window. He's not running the youngsters as Corey Webster comes out, probably one of the highest scoring players in New Zealand basketball. Some young players coming through, but some absolute household names. Rusbach coming out. And you would definitely put New Zealand as favourites here today, as they have brought out the big guns, whilst Philippines look to provide some experience to their youngsters, but certainly don't write the Filipino team off. With the support of their fans, they will definitely be ready to go. We'll now take a break in commentary so we can enjoy the national anthems. First will be the Philippines and then the national anthem of New Zealand.
National anthems. To lead us in the singing, first the Philippines national anthem, followed by the New Zealand national anthem, is homegrown Kiwi vocal quartet Melodica.
Bayang magiliw, prelas nagsilanganan, alam ng puso, sa didi mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisihil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislad ng watawan mo'y tagumpay na naninining. Ang bituin na daraw niyang kailan na may dilang didilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwag at ipagsinta. Buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang mamigaya ng pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Ehoa atua o nga iwi materna me arohan noa kia hua kote pai kia toto atafai mana kiti amai
Absolutely amazing renditions of both national anthems here at the Event Finder Stadium in Auckland. As the players head to the half court to exchange gifts. But that is certainly where the pleasantries will end. And both teams will look to go to battle on the floor. As we will now see the tradition, the Tall Blacks, coming out to perform their haka in preparation and challenge for this international game. As is customary, the away team, the Philippines, line up to show respect, but also step up to the challenge that's being set to them. Really is a truly amazing moment. No finer sight in international sport if that doesn't get you ready for a big game of basketball here in Auckland. I'm not sure what will. As we look to our officials, Takaki Kato, Vaughan Maybury and Chun Yip Yuan from Japan, Australia and Hong Kong respectively, making sure everything goes to plan and is to the rule book throughout the game. But what a game we have ahead of us here. Two heavyweights of Asian basketball. Both teams obviously with half an eye as well on the Asia Cup. That starts in but a few days' time. Here's a starting five for New Zealand. Delaney and Webster, Vodanovic, Ngatai and Illy. Some absolute household names on show for New Zealand, and the bench, well, the quality doesn't really drop. Coach Cameron really spoiled with the wealth of choices he has now within Tall Blacks basketball. And what an icon of New Zealand basketball Coach Cameron is. Been there, done that, to say the least. Spent 8 years as an assistant coach. He's now been head coach for the past, coming up for 3 years. And he's certainly stamping his mark on the game. As for the Philippines, they're in their huddle with Coach Vucinovic. And here is their starting five. Abando, Ravena, Chu, Ramos and Tamayo. Not a huge amount of experience. Expect them to lean on the likes of Ravena and Ramos. Ravena played in the last World Cup, the only player in this 12 to feature at the 2019 World Cup for the Philippines. Averaged just shy of 5 points and almost 1.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists a game. Keith Ravena. Coach Vucinovic just in for this qualification window, been brought in to steady the ship somewhat. As we hit the Tissa countdown to tip off, 1 minute to go till we get underway here in Auckland. Final game of this qualification window for New Zealand. As for the Philippines, they'll take on India on Sunday to close out their first round of the qualifiers. As I said, both these teams through to the second round of qualifiers. Philippines obviously qualified for the World Cup already as hosts. New Zealand need to fight their way there though. One of 6 spots they'll be fighting for. As we get ready for the start of tip-off, just a reminder, stay up to date with everything to do with the World Cup. Download the FIBA World Cup Qualifiers app, available on iOS and Android, completely free. And an absolute godsend if you want to follow basketball across the world. It really will give you everything you need. Box scores, interviews, videos, you name it, it's got it. So make sure you get that downloaded now. And we're underway here in Auckland. Qualification window 3 for the FIBA 2023 World Cup is underway. Delaney looks to drive the baseline, slides inside and gets the early score. That's a strong move. Big upper body strength to muscle his way in. Ravenna now at the top. See what that impact, the short time that coach Vucinic has had. Intercepted and stolen away. Webster now out to Nartai. He goes strong, draws the foul. Nartai into the ad boards. Tamayo hits the hardwood. Straight away, New Zealand stamping their brand of basketball. Its intensity, its hustle, all stems from a strong defensive stance as Nartai will head to the free throw line. Gets the first to drop. Might not grab all the headlines, Jordan Nartai, but plays with so much heart. Seen so many New Zealand games across the years where his emotion and passion really has lifted the team when they've needed it. Ramos now. Big expectations on his shoulders. Had a double-double in the previous meeting between these two. 18 points and 10 rebounds back in game day 2. Tamayo. Nice little turnaround. The jumper's not there. You can hear the road crowd. Potentially more Filipino fans here in Auckland than there are Kiwi fans. It certainly does give you a hint to how big the World Cup is going to be next year in the Philippines. A country that's absolutely besotted with basketball. Gifted one of the biggest events in the calendar, and I'm sure they're going to do it justice. Ramos now, little hesitation, drives inside, off the glass, but no good. Illy, crossover, creates the space, draws the foul, this time off Abando. And Illy will head to the line for 2 free throws. Got a bit of a shaky start for the Philippines here. Yeah, you can see the foul early. And it was all down to really the angle that Shaylee was cutting towards the basket. He was almost overcompensating, wait for that challenge to come through, to take the body contact before he even thought about releasing. He hits the first of his 2 at the free throw line. And the second, that's good to go. This is his first game in the qualifiers for this World Cup, Shea Illy. Ramos now brings it up over the half, being harassed by Nartai. Tamayo looking to go to work. Lovely little fake, ducks under and gets the score. 21-year-old's been looking pretty cool and calm so far. He's up for the challenge, taking on some of the big guns from New Zealand. Inside to Delaney and another score. And this is the thing you've got. An awful lot of these Tall Blacks have been playing together for a long time. Another steal. Illy with the quick hands in the passing lane. Oh, what a whipped pass. Delaney for 3, no good. Vodanovic grabs the rebound and New Zealand will go again. Oh, that's a poor pass from Illy. He was trying to split the defenders with the pass, but it's intercepted by Abando. Shot goes up from the wing. That one's heavy-handed. New Zealand lead by 6. Delaney, another 3-point attempt again. The bucket is not his friend. The Philippines look to slow things down. Interesting to see what style coach Vucinic is trying to get his team to adopt. Put in place at the beginning of June. So he's had a month, not a solid month working with the players, but he's had time to start to build a bit of identity under him. Always going to be difficult though, coming in just for the 1 qualification window, just for 2 games. Ramos now. Good help there by Vodanovic. It's out to the wing though, and the bucket is good. Tamayo with another score. He's up to 5 points now. No reply from New Zealand. And the Philippine supporters here in Auckland certainly making themselves heard early in proceedings. Everything going through Ramos at the moment. Nice pass inside, stolen away. That will be a New Zealand ball. Great defense by Shea Ili. An absolute nuisance for Biggs. As Chu loses possession and drops it out. Filipino fans showing their discontent to the officials now. Third turnover of the game for the Philippines. And that really is to be expected with such a young roster, finding their way at this level. Delaney inside, Vodanovic no good, grabs his own rebound though. 8 seconds on the shot clock for Ili. Nartai inside, they need to get it up. Vodanovic doesn't get the score though. Ramos with the rebound. Crossover inside, draws the contact. Misses the shot. Delaney's going to be fouled by Ramos. Coach Vucinic and the fans are feeling a little hard done by at the moment. I think there's a big difference between that foul and what they were asking for a foul in the previous play. And the sideline ball for New Zealand as they lead by 3 with under 4 minutes played here in the Event Finder Stadium in Auckland. Opening game of this qualification window. As we see, Ili looks to go to the bucket. Foul's been called on Tamayo. Once again, Philippines aren't happy. Whether you're happy with the officials or not, you need to register how they're refereeing the game. They're clearly not allowing any bumping as players are going to the bucket. As a player, you need to register that. Tamayo's going to head to the bench on that foul, though. Into the action comes Navarro. At 25 years of age, unbelievably the second oldest player on the roster, William Navarro. Webster. Pass inside to Delaney, he goes up, no good, fights for the rebound, gets the rebound and gets the score. Finn Delaney really is blossoming into one of the mainstay for New Zealand now. Seen him over the last few years really grow on the international stage. He's part of the team in China in 2019. Averaged just over 3 points a game, 3 rebounds a game. As we see Shea Ili head to the bench for New Zealand. Into the action comes the head-banded Ethan Rosbach. Vodanovic is also going to come out of the action as we see Tohi Smith-Milner come in. And these are real household names in tall black basketball. Corner jumper no good. 5-point lead for New Zealand, and that's the only real saving grace for the Philippines at the moment. They've struggled offensively. Good defense though here. Ravenna working hard on Webster. Stolen away. Ramos out at the races, hands it back, almost lost. Three-pointer comes up short, and the noise levels are absolutely deafening in the arena as the Filipino fans make it a home game for their team. Up goes Ramos, gets the score, draws the foul. Dwight Ramos, strong upper body play. It's a lovely pass from Navarro. As Ramos will head to the free throw line for the bonus. Coach Vucinic won't be 100% happy with how his team have played so far in the first 5.5 minutes, but his team trailed by 3. Technical foul has been called, though. The Filipino frustration slightly overspilling. Coach Vucinic called for that technical. And sometimes coaches almost get them on purpose, either to make a point to an official, to get his team fired up. I'm not sure that was the case in this situation. I think some frustrations just overspilling slightly. Obviously, Coach Vucinic needs to be careful now. Another technical team sent from the bench. So he'll have to temper his emotions slightly. Webster scored that technical free throw for New Zealand as Ramos will head to the free throw line for his and one play. Comes up short, though, and Delaney pulls down the rebound. 4th rebound of the game for Finn Delaney. Alongside his 6 points, he really has stepped up early here for New Zealand. Rusbach, corner 3, no good. Long outlet pass. Ravana. Nice move. Navarro inside, gets the score. William Navarro coming off the bench with some energy and some composure. Smith-Milner, oh, what a big and one play. Filipino players hitting the floor like skittles. There's the play from Navarro, and Smith-Milner goes the other way into the crowd and gets the score. And just a physically imposing player, Jorge Smith-Milner. 5 out of the 12 players in the Tall Blacks roster were in China for the last World Cup, so plenty of experience. Off the foot of Vodanovic. One of those players who would love to secure a place at the World Cup next year. If he continues to play the way he has, he will. Across the 3 games in these qualifiers, averaging over 20 points and 8 rebounds a game. Abarientos now hands it off to Ravenna. Oh, throws it away, though. New Zealand will slow it down. Illy pulls up, free throw line jumper. New Zealand haven't shot the ball well so far, and they lead by 5, but they've struggled to have a high efficiency. Oh, and he flies through the lane for the one-hander. Brewster announces himself to the floor.
Defense.
Kwambao, no good. Nearly hands it off to Rusbach, stolen away, and the Philippines really have high energy. They play a lot of defense. It's going to sound like a silly statement here, but with their hands, shot goes up. Abarientos, no good. Philippines really love to get their hands into the passing lanes, love to get their hands into the dribble. Brewster finding a way to the bucket, and at the moment, the Philippines have no answer for him. New Zealand's lead out to 9. Timeout's going to be called by Coach Vucinic. Here's a replay of that dunk. And the defense parted wide open for him on that one. As he's moving the next play, and they just can't afford to play him straight up. There needs to be some help, some rim protection. Let's jump into this huddle, hear what the coaching staff have to say. Pretty interesting instructions from coach Vucinic, basically saying to his team, push the tempo, get out in transition, run hard, run fast, and make New Zealand play some transition defense. Let's see how his team take those words on board and execute that on the floor. They trail by 9. A little over 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And look at the Filipino fans. Some of them, I'm sure, will have made their way from the Philippines. Some of them locally based here in New Zealand, maybe even living in Auckland. But this has been the joy of these qualifiers, seeing so many fans getting to see their heroes on the hardwood. As we see Ramos head into the front through the ad boards, getting to know some of the fans a little bit better. Dwight Ramos. You sometimes forget with Ramos as well, just 23 years old. Really has been impressive across their 2 qualifiers. 17.5 points, 7 rebounds, 2.5 assists. The only criticism may be he's not shooting a great percentage from outside. Ramos now hands it off to Balangel. A one-footed 3. That's not one from the textbook. Brewster, that's a long 3. He comes up short. Rebound pulled down by Hiram Harris. Nartai looking to post up. Harris, 3. Just pulled at that one a little. The release wasn't as smooth as maybe he would have liked, but it's going to remain New Zealand ball. On the sideline, way down in the corner. We're going to see a change as Navarro comes out and Tamayo, in fact, sorry, Sean Chu comes in. In fact, it was Wambo that came out. Nearly crossover inside, swatted away though, big hands by Navarro. Pass inside and Chu can't hold on to it. Great pass from Ramos. As we see the great move by Ili, but the even better defense. Navarro with the block. Harris hands it off to Ili. 90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Vodanovic now. Inside to Nartai. Oh, lovely quick feed on the baseline. Can't get the score though. The battle for the rebound. Smart play by Hiram Harris. Throws it off the legs of the defender. It's off Navarro's legs. No chance he was going to catch up with that one. So it'll be New Zealand ball. As we see Francis Lopez come into the game for Ramos. Smart move by coach Vucinic. Going to give Ramos an extended quarter break rest. With the feeling he's going to be playing north of 35 minutes today, so any break he can get, he needs to take. Ili for 3 as the shot clock expires, drains it to the bottom of the bucket. New Zealand's lead out to a commanding 12 points now. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Lopez, baseline drive, looks for the jam, but gets fouled. Vodanovic is going to get called for the foul. That really would have been a highlight play. 19-year-old going up to the top floor. Here's the triple from Ili. As he has the conversation, Lopez will head to the free throw line, 4 shots. Second foul on Vodanovic, so he's going to head to the bench. And Coach Cameron looks to save him. Back into the game comes Pauhi Smith-Milner. Lopez no good with the first. Lopez, like 7 of his teammates, taking part in his first qualifier. Basketball gods looking down on him on that one. Gets the roll off the iron. Harris now Taylor Britt drives inside, off the glass, can't get the score, can draw the foul. That one on Chu. And the pantomime continues here. The officials hearing it from the fans, hearing it from the coaching staff. Vucinic needs to be careful, already on a technical foul. Britt will head to the line for free throws. Played in all three of the qualifiers prior to today, averaging just under 7 points, 4 rebounds a game. 80% from the free throw line, Taylor Britt. Gets both from the free throw line, extending New Zealand's lead out to 13. We're into the final 30 seconds of this first quarter, about a 6-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Lopez inside, doesn't get the score, does draw the foul from Ngatai. Lopez just needs to be a little careful. His footwork got a little bit out of shape when he received the ball. Ngatai called for the foul though. Lopez will head to the line for free throws. That's the first to go. Important for a young player such as Lopez, who clearly wants to get to the bucket, wants to score his points in contact, needs to be able to convert from the free throw line. He's 2 from 4 here today, but big rebound by Navarro. They'll look to use their 5 seconds. What a crossover, pulls up for the 3, it's short though. Oh, lovely rebound, draws the foul. Smart play by Sean Chu. He'll head to the free throw line for shots. You heard the crowd's reaction to the crossover from Malangel. Couldn't get the jumper to go though. Here's the crossover. Crosses over Brewster, sends him every which way. Couldn't get the 3 to drop. There's the hustle by Chu. Foul is called. I'm not sure, without the made jumper, Melangel's killer crossover will make it to the highlight reels. That's a thing of beauty though. Chu hits the first of his 2 free throws. 4 seconds left on the first quarter clock for New Zealand to work with on the back of this. That's the second to drop. Hilly now, waving people away, hands it off. Shot goes up, no good. That will be the end of the first quarter here. Going to the way we expected. The home team, New Zealand, leading this one 23-13 over the Philippines. Here are some of the shooting statistics from that first quarter. Neither team shooting well from outside, but New Zealand going 100% from the free throw line, 8 from 8, while shooting 46% from 2. Here are some of the highlights from that first quarter of action. That was the opening score from Finn Delaney, just muscling his way to the bucket. Bit of smart footwork there from Tamayo. And New Zealand continue to play some good team basketball, that's for sure. Delaney's done well in the first quarter. Philippines a little bit slow to warm up, but they seem to be starting to find their rhythm as the quarter developed. They trail by 10 at the end of the first quarter. But the youngsters for the Philippines certainly have shown glimmers of exactly what they can do. Ramos here with the strong and one play as he goes hard to the basket. As does Navarro. There's been some great plays actually as you look back across that first 10 minutes of action, some good physicality to the game. As we see Prooster getting back-to-back buckets. One with the dunk, the other with the little shimmy and a shake as he drives to the bucket. Just a reminder, you can download the Courtside 1891 app. That will get you into some amazing world of basketball. Plenty of schedules and stats available through that app. Coach Cameron will be happy with his team's first quarter performance. 23 points on the board, holding the Philippines to just 13. But he knows it's not job done. He wants to leave this qualification phase with a perfect record. 4 wins, no losses. That's the only thing that's in his mind. He knows his team deserve to be at the World Cup next year. They have to win the games to get there. 6 spots open for Asia qualifiers, obviously with the 3 host nations already qualified. Well, not strictly true. Indonesia need a good performance in Asia Cup to do that, but they're on course for that. Second quarter action underway here in Auckland. FIBA World Cup 2023 qualifier between the Philippines and New Zealand. New Zealand leading by 10 at the end of the first quarter. Long 3, Malangel, no good. Big rebound inside by Chu. He goes back up, grabs another rebound. Steps out of bounds. Abarientos just lost where his feet were. An interesting battle here now between CJ Abarientos and Shea Ili. 2 very quick guards. Delaney inside to Nartai. Nartai looking to go to work against Lopez. Lopez tries to get his hands in the mix. That one's going to go over the back of the backboard. Nartai smiling at the officials, wanting the call. Having a quick chat with Lopez on the way back down the other end of the floor. Nartai trying to get into the young man's head. See how the 19-year-old reacts to the antics of Jordan Nartai. Abarientos now hands it back to Lopez. He looks to skip it. Good court spread here. Good spacing from the Philippines. Abarientos no good for the 3. He's certainly determined to try and make his mark, CJ Abarientos. And Webster almost loses possession, goes with the spin move, has it rejected by Chu. Into the corner for the 3. Little side step, no good. Smith-Milner to Delaney. New Zealand continue to struggle offensively, not really getting the efficiency that they would like. Webster now looks to go straight on to Malangel. He pumps his fist as he's drawn the charge on Corey Webster. Webster not happy with the call. Philippines certainly looks like they felt hard done by the officials in the first quarter. Lopez now comes back to Ravenna. Ravenna hands it off to Malangel. Inside, but Lopez can't hold on to it. It was deflected on its way through, which made it a difficult catch for Lopez. Delaney goes straight to the bucket. That one swatted away by Tamayo. And the rim protection at the moment for the Philippines is looking good. Tamayo short with the 3 though. Neither team really shooting the ball from range very well. Both team relying heavily on their inside game. Smith-Milner misses the two. I have a feeling he was expecting contact, and when that didn't come, it put him off. Tamayo inside. Blocking foul is going to be called on Smith-Milner. Comes the block. By Tamayo. Comes back the other way. Yeah, it's the right call by the officials. Smith-Milner moving laterally, certainly not just moving straight backwards. Tamayo will head to the free throw line for shots. 5 points already for the 21-year-old. Hits the first of his two. As we see Sam Timmons into the game for the first time. Second shot is good for Tamayo. Delaney comes back out to Illy. Nice pass on the pick and roll. Delaney strong, no good, draws the foul. He'll head to the line for shots. It was the pass that was strong. And Delaney needs to be careful, that weak hand. Almost clearing out his defender. New Zealand's lead at 8. Yet to score here in the second quarter, almost 3 minutes in. That said, the Philippines have only scored 2 themselves. That breaks the seal on the second quarter basket for New Zealand. With those 2 makes, Delaney moves up to 8 points personal, leading all scorers, also has 5 rebounds as well. Very versatile player, Finn Delaney. Listed as a power forward, but realistically you can play him pretty much 2 through 4. Tamayo trying to create something for himself. That one doesn't play out, but the loose ball falls to the Philippines. Long, high, arcing shot from Balangel, but no good. Webster, long 2. That one's an easy jumper for a player the quality and experience of Corey Webster. 33 years of age now, Corey Webster. Interesting to see how long his international career plays on for. You wouldn't imagine he would go past this World Cup. There wouldn't be another one anyway. He might look for another Olympics potentially if they could make it. Nartai comes up off target. Illy working hard for the rebound, but it's going to be a Filipino ball on the sideline. Great crowd here at the Event Finder Stadium in Auckland. As Prewster comes into the game, Webster heads to the bench. By the noise levels, you'd say potentially more fans of the Philippines here than maybe the home team, New Zealand. No matter where the Philippines play, their travelling support is always immense. Ravenna now looking for something to open up in front of him. Ramos finds some space, ducks under, can't get the shot. That's great play by Timmons. Almost a little bit concerned when you go into those situations. You see him jump for this, he's jumping forward into a crowd. You don't know what you're going to come down on top of. It's a quick way to damage your ankles, but showed some courage and bravery going up for that rebound. Comes down safely, thankfully. Coach Vucinic will be slightly happy with the defensive performance from his team here in the second quarter, even if offensively things are even slower than they were in the first. Delaney inside, draws a contact and gets the score. Finn Delaney, the go-to man for New Zealand here today. Ildefonso gives it up, gets called for an unsportsmanlike foul. Not a smart play. Early with the hands in the dribble. And Ildefonso just pulls on his jersey. Makes it a pretty easy call for the officials.
Score 29-15 in favour of the Tall Blacks.
And Ildefonso, not on the floor for very long, heads back to the bench. Italy will go to the line for shots, and New Zealand will take possession. At the halfway stage here of the second quarter, New Zealand lead by 14. And they look certainly in control of this one. The offensive output has slowed somewhat here in the second quarter. But they've also limited the Philippines to just 2 points in the second quarter. As New Zealand will make the change after hitting both his free throws. Illy heads to the bench. Into the game comes Taylor Britt. A 16-point lead now for New Zealand. Just a reminder, the first time these two teams met in the reverse of this fixture, New Zealand won the game by 25. Ngatai floats inside, gets the score. And New Zealand at times have played some absolutely beautiful team offense. Moved the ball well. A real understanding between every player that comes onto the floor. It's not just about the starting five or the key players. Everyone knows the offense perfectly. Britt almost steals it away. Certainly gets his hands into the passing lane. Nice little shake. Oh, Delaney runs into Tim and still gets the score. A little laugh with his teammate. Just adding a little bit of difficulty level there for Delaney. Maybe it was all too easy for him. His own team have to play some defense against him. But it's still not enough as he gets the score. Timeout's been called by Coach Vucinic. We're going to try and head into the huddles and hear what the coaching staff have to say to their teams.
Like a slip screen, okay? Like a go screen, right? So he's coming this way, okay? You fake it and you get into this area, okay? Look for that pass. We gotta get that pass, and then we go. Then we've got the actions, okay? And look to screen, look to shoot from the off ball, guys. All right? Okay? Ball screen's not doing anything for us. We can't get that. Now, if there is a ball screen at the end, we gotta have 3 guys on the baseline, guys. So there is this space for the short roll. Okay? Come on, let's go. Let's keep fighting. Let's go.
Unsurprisingly, Coach Vucinic focusing fully on the offensive end. His team only scoring 2 points so far in this second quarter, being outscored by 10 points in the second quarter. Mainly from the hand of that man there, Finn Delaney, 12 points in a little under 12 minutes of action. He's certainly enjoying the game. Ravenna now hands it off to Tamayo. The Philippines maybe looking a little bit more patient offensively. Pulls up for the jumper and gets it to go. Ravenna. Gets the score. Delaney now. New Zealand spreading the floor well, giving space for the pick and roll to work its magic. Brewster for 3, no good. Timmons fighting hard for the rebound, but it's pulled down by Ramos. Slight confusion. Nice pass inside, and Tamayo gets the easy score. 2 quick buckets for the Philippines. Brings the lead to 16 for New Zealand, gets the crowd back into the game. Defense chant ringing out as Delaney loses it, gets it back. And now it's a scramble on the floor. That'll be a jump ball as Timmons and Ramos tie things up. Nice pass inside. And there's the scrap on the floor for the possession. Plenty of sweat for the court operatives to mop up. Baseline ball for New Zealand. Possession arrow was pointing in their favour. Brewster now waits for the Timmons screen. Elbow jumper is good. Brewster takes his personal tally to 6. Ramos now hands it off to Tamayo. Ravena, little step back, no good. Brick with the rebound. And the crowd for the Philippines are going to play their part. They just need to get them back into the game. They've gone a little bit quiet. Rusbach 3, nails the 3 off the back of great ball movement by the Tall Blacks. Unselfish play, as you have almost come to expect from the New Zealand team. Navarro now looking to hand it off, does so to Tamayo. Stolen away, easy interception for Rusbach, drives inside, gets the score. Little bit of handbags from Vodanovic and Tamayo. Neither player's going to back down from it, but they need to. Really stemmed there from Tamayo, just initially shoving Vodanovic to get him out of the way of the ball. Both officials doing a great job just calming the teams down. Coach Cameron being told that his players need to let the Philippines get out and run if they want to, and it's a fair point to be made. This is the score by Rusbach. Here's the replay. Vodanovic just letting it bounce off his chest and go out of bounds. That was a frustration that Tamayo felt, but Vodanovic was just delaying the game somewhat. Clearly the Philippines want to run transition. They want to get out. They don't want to get stuck in a half-court offense. And smart move by Cameron. He's going to take Vodanovic out, and instantly that will calm the situation down. And it's good coaching. Into the final 2 minutes of this first half now. Juan Bao in possession, hands it off now to Chu. Shot clock up 4. Puts up a big shot, that one's no good. Harris hands it off to Brewster. There's the lob, and there's the flush by Smith-Milner. Wasn't with much authority, but the impact on the scoreboard is the same. New Zealand's lead up to 25 points. Foul's going to be called on Britt. Ravena will head to the line for
14 seconds left on the shot.
sideline possession, in fact, for the Philippines. Ramos inside into the corner. Shot goes up and it's good. That's a big score for the Philippines. Things are starting to get a little bit out of hand. Just a 2 though. Harris comes back out to Rusbach. Shot clock to 3. Can Brewster do anything? He can put it to the wing to Smith-Milner. No good. Harris fights hard. 2-on-1 situation, but Harris still comes away with the offensive board. Brewster now for the three. Nails the three. Six-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot goes up from distance, clips the iron and away. Brewster now to Britt, pulls up the lefty with the three, no good. They're going to get the shot away in time, don't get it to go. And that's the end of the first half here in Auckland. A blistering first half with the home team in fine form. Half-time score is the Philippines 21, New Zealand 47. A huge first half for New Zealand. Big guns on show here, though, for New Zealand. Philippines putting out their younger generation, and it's certainly paid dividends for the Tall Blacks. Neither team shooting well from outside, but New Zealand getting it done from two, 57%. They're 100% from the free throw line as well. Dominating the rebounding battle, out rebounding the Philippines 28-17. Plenty of offensive rebounds in that as well. And it's Finn Delaney leading the way. He has 12 points and has been all over the box score. For the Philippines, it's Carl Tamayo with 9 points as their leading scorer. Here are some of the highlights from that first half of action. That was the opening score from Finn Delaney. Really set the tone for him in that first half as he raced his way to 12 points, leading all scorers. Has been a tough first half for the Philippines, but it was expected prior to the game. The roster they'd announced was a young roster full of next generation talent, and they've given all 12 players some time on the floor. Their leading scorer is Tamayo. He has 9 points alongside 2 rebounds. No other player with more than 2 points, though, for the Philippines. They do have 7 players having registered some points, though. As for New Zealand, big performance from Finn Delaney. 12 points for him, alongside 5 rebounds. Dion Brewster just behind him with 9 points. And then you have Smith Milner with 5 points and 3 rebounds. New Zealand entering the game with a 3-0 record, including a win over the Philippines earlier in the qualification campaign. They won by 25 points in that game. They currently lead by 26, so you have a feeling that they're going to outdo that first game's performance. And remember, today's game closes out the first round of qualifiers for New Zealand. They're already through to the second round of qualifiers. Today's game wasn't going to affect that, but every result from this first round of qualifiers, as we look at Delaney using his body beautifully to get the score, every game from this first round of qualifiers counts in the second round as these teams look to fight it out for a spot at the World Cup next year. Going through to the second round will be New Zealand, the Philippines and India. And in that second round, they'll face Jordan and the Lebanon, and either Saudi Arabia or Indonesia, who are currently fighting it out in Group C. They'll move through to that second round to fight another 6 games against those 3 teams, on a home and away basis, all in the hope that they can make it through and secure one of the 6 berths that are available in the World Cup for this Asia region. Remember, 2 of those berths have been taken up by 2 of the hosts, Japan and our team here today, the Philippines. We'll now take a break at the half. We'll be back with all the second half action shortly.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Chen Pai. Can't find its way to Artino. It's still Chinese Taipei ball with the shot. How about that? That is extraordinary from Bing Sheng Lin with an extraordinary try. Get out of here.
Build on this 10-point lead again here, Levin, and 7 minutes to go in this ball game. It's great hands, Arakji, and a simple finish.
Tipped away by Clemens, chance to run, 2-on-1. Jamshidi, the only man back, and they go upstairs. Lovely little lob pass, and the finish, an easy one in the end for Kazakhstan. Took everyone by surprise as Maxim Marshuk finished it off there.
Just wanted Vague to post up. Instead, Vague with a lovely little spin move and a backdoor cut. Loses Taniguchi to get the score.
Bertie Ravena has it. Spins, puts it up, gets it to go. They got some talented, skillful players out there, don't they?
Zeldowicz now going in the lane now, goes all the way. Another block shot there by Dweri, and now we got transition all the way. Throws it down. Wow. Freddie Ibrahim with a bit of authority on that one.
Swalem gets the offensive rebound and kicks it out, and he gives it away. Grahita, and left-hand finish and blocked by Murthan Al-Mawani. Saudi Arabia refuse to give anything easy to Indonesia. Look at the hustle.
Samuels accepts the pass. Now fakes it, drives in. Oh, what hops he has! And then he hung on the rim and slapped the backboard. Whoa! What a drive from Samuel.
Five from 7 from outside in this quarter. They went 1 from 8 in the first quarter, the Philippines, so it really is. Oh, and a rejection, a nasty rejection from Kwame.
And the pass is stolen, and all alone is Saudi Arabia. Big throwdown. Al-Baghawi, double clutch. Watch this highlight reel. Look at the hang time. Look at the flying motion and the heavy throwdown.
Welcome back to Auckland in New Zealand for this FIBA World Cup 2023 qualifier between the Philippines and New Zealand. Finn Delaney has been looking exceptionally impressive here in the first half. 12 points for him alongside 5 rebounds as well. He got started early, scoring the first bucket of the game, and really has been just dominating since. My favourite play of the game is that one. As even his own teammate playing defense against him couldn't stop him from getting the score. Plenty of smiles on the New Zealand bench. Plenty of Philippines fans in the crowd, and they're enjoying themselves. Their team may be trailing, but they are certainly enjoying themselves, and leading their team so far today has been Carl Tamayo. The young big has been showing some great footwork, some good shooting form as well. And thousands of Philippines fans that have made it to the arena are certainly enjoying the performance he's putting on for them. He'll have to have a big second half, though, if they're to fight their way back into this one. The Philippines have brought an exceptionally young roster. Tamayo, just 21 years of age, really is next generation stuff for the Philippines. So the expectations were that New Zealand would be comfortable winners for this one. At the halfway stage, it's looking like we're heading towards that prediction. Finn Delaney has some time to say hi to the fans. Great to see him enjoying it and being relaxed enough to do just that as New Zealand look to fight their way through to a World Cup. Bogdanovic leading them on rebounding with 6 rebounds. Corey Webster with 3 assists. But as always with New Zealand, it truly is a team performance. 8 players on the scoreboard for them already, as they are first out to get their warm-ups back underway. Remember, both of these teams as well will be having half an eye on Asia Cup, under 2 weeks away from the start of the Asia Cup. On an individual level, players fighting for one of those 12 spots on the team. At Asia Cup in Jakarta. Certainly looking forward to heading to Indonesia to cover that one. Will be 2 weeks of amazing basketball. But for these teams, they're building towards that. For the New Zealand players, they're fighting for a spot on the team, and for this young Philippines roster, I'm sure there will be some spots on that 12-man team heading to Jakarta. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Tamayo in that 12-man roster, or even 2 or 3 of these younger players alongside maybe some of the more household names within Philippines basketball. But that is for another day. Today we are in the middle of our FIBA World Cup 2023 qualifier here in Group A. At the moment, New Zealand top the table, 3 wins, 0 losses. Philippines only played 2 games so far, 1 win, 1 loss. They will close out this first round of qualifiers on Sunday against India. New Zealand, Philippines and India all through to the second qualification round, where they'll face Jordan, Lebanon and either Saudi Arabia or Indonesia. Remember, there are 6 spots available for these Asia teams at the World Cup. Usually 8, but 2 of the berths taken up by the host nations of Philippines and Japan. Potentially Indonesia will pick up one of those berths as well, depending on their performance in Asia Cup. They need to make it through to the quarterfinals to secure their spot. As we see the players warming up, under 3 minutes to go until the start of the second half. New Zealand obviously in complete control of this one. They lead by 26 points at the halfway stage. They really have been dominant from start to finish. They won the first quarter by 10. They won the second quarter by 16, holding to Philippines to just 8 points in that second quarter. And I'm sure Coach Vucinic will be working hard in the half-time locker room to adjust their offensive structure. He was talking about getting out and running more, being more transition focused in one of his timeouts in the first half, and you have a feeling they'll look to do the same again. And some of these young players for the Philippines step up in the second half. As we see Coach Cameron head back into his huddle with his team, as does Coach Vucinic for the Philippines. Some final words before the teams come back out onto the floor. And just a reminder, while we have a break, I would definitely advise you to download the FIBA World Cup Qualifiers app, available on iOS and Android, completely free of charge. That will keep you up to date with everything you need during the World Cup qualifiers and the World Cup itself. So make sure you get your devices out now and get that one downloaded. Both teams making their way back onto the floor. And there's the QR code if you want to download the World Cup Qualifiers app. quick enough to get your phones out, scan that one. It will jump you straight into where you need to be. As New Zealand come back to the floor. It'll be the Philippines to start this second half. Second half action underway here in Auckland. FIBA 2023 World Cup qualifier. Philippines taking on New Zealand, and a quick score early in the second half for the Philippines. Abando with the little short-range jumper reduces that half-time lead for New Zealand down to 24. Delaney now with possession, hands it off to Ili. Ili's going to draw the foul. And he'll think it'll be a sideline though, as he eventually passed it out. Gone for the shot and have headed to the free throw line. Instead it'll be a baseline ball for the Tall Blacks. Ellie now at the top. Hands it off to Webster. That's a poor pass by Webster. Easy to intercept. Quick hands there by Ravenna. Nice little jab step, creates the space. And Bando no good. But the three is from Webster. Just a two, in fact. Quick take the other end, and the Philippines certainly aren't looking to play a patient game. They want to get out in transition. Webster, another three. No good. Both teams a little bit scrappy in the opening phases of this second half. As Ramos puts the Jets on and draws the foul from Jordan Nartai. Ramos will head to the free throw line. Lovely camera angle for this one. Right on the hardwood. Ramos will head to the line for 2 free throws. Prior to today's game, shot 71% from the free throw line. Plenty of fans. Many young fans as well from the Philippines enjoying the action, as well as New Zealand fans. A wonderful cosmopolitan mix in the crowd. And that's the joy of basketball. Bringing fans together to support their teams respectfully, but with passion. We have a fan with mixed loyalties on that row. Ramos nails both free throws, and when you're down by this sort of deficit, it's important that you make those small efforts to come back into the game. Free throws can be a way back in. Ili for 3. Too heavy-handed, but the long rebound falls back to him. Draws the foul off Abando. Sideline ball. Second team foul of the quarter for the Philippines. There's just that little hesitation. Brought Abando's body movement forward. His momentum came forward. And Ili made him pay. Webster now. Kicks it. Nartai nails the 3. Absolutely textbook offense from New Zealand. The little unsung hero in that play was Vodanovic. He got the mismatch that he wanted, and rather than boxing out the smaller man, He just really bullied the paint to create the space for Webster to drive. Strong drive inside. Another score for Tamayo. Takes himself to double digits. He's up to 11 points now. Webster. Delaney. Layup with a little slap of the glass for 2. Delaney making sure he remains the game-high scorer. He's up to 14 alongside 7 rebounds. Ramos, no good. And at the moment, the Philippines offense looks pretty stagnant. Nartai fakes the 3. Baseline door is closed on him. Webster from range comes up short. Ramos with another rebound. That's his 6th rebound of the game. Ravenna kicks it wide open. Abando nails the 3. Still delay of game warning for the Philippines. Both teams now receiving that warning. Philippines within 24. 3 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter. Certainly a higher scoring quarter than we've seen in the first half. Illy for 3. And both teams starting to find some form from outside. They're absolutely barren from range in the first half. Shot goes up. Foul's going to be drawn. Webster called for that one. As Abando gets the shot away.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot film during the game. If I can see you filming for long periods of time, someone will come and ask you to stop filming and could possibly ask you to leave the venue. So please, if you are
There's a replay.
on your phone for long periods of time, it is time to put it down.
Webster not happy with the call. And Abando will head to the free throw line for 3 free throws. Hits the first. As Webster picks up his 3rd foul. Coach Cameron just questioning the call. And this is the 2nd of his 2. Abando, one of those bright stars of the future potentially for the Philippines. 24 years of age, starting to come towards his prime. Hits the 3rd, takes his personal tally up to 7 points now. A little over 8 minutes played for him. Brewster, step back 3, nails it. New Zealand certainly weren't great from 3-point range in the first half. That's changed here in the second half. As the game seems to have opened up a lot more, defensive intensity has dropped for both teams and wide open jumpers are available. And at the moment, both teams are filling their boots with as many points as they can handle. 26-point lead now for New Zealand. Little touch pass to the corner. That one rings out. And Tamayo brings down the rebound for the Philippines. Tamayo thrown up against Delaney, picks up his dribble, throws it away. Vodanovic now one-on-one against Ravenna. Gets the score and will go to the free throw line for the bonus. Tom Vodanovic putting in another shift. He certainly enjoys the games against the Philippines. Had a double-double in the reverse of this fixture. Lovely little step over on that one. Hops his way to the bucket for the score. And quite class that as a Euro step. First points of the game, unbelievably, for Vodanovic. Does have 8 rebounds though. Can't get the free throw to drop. So New Zealand's lead will stay at 28. Tamayo looking to spin his way to the basket, but nothing there. Instead, he'll pull up for the long two as the shot clock was looking to expire and gets it to go. Karl Tamayo has certainly impressed here today. His first qualifier for the Philippines. Rusbach no good. Tamayo with another rebound, and he's all over the box score right now. 6th rebound of the game, 13 points. Vodanovic will head to the bench on that foul. This was the jumper on the last play. Delaney playing some good defense, but Tamayo's jumper's just good enough. Oh, thrown away by Tamayo this time, though. Picked up by Webster, all alone for the easy finger roll off the glass. Miscommunication between the Philippines players. Just a break in play now while the sweat is cleaned up off the floor. As Tamayo went to the hardwood to hold on to it. In fact, it wasn't thrown away. It was great hands by Delaney. That one needs to be chalked down as a Delaney steal, really. In fact, Webster's been given the steal.
64-36, 4.5 down in the third quarter.
Tamayo heads to the bench. In his place comes Sean Chu. Jumper is good. And the Philippines offensively have looked much better, much more confident here in this quarter. Already 17 points in the quarter. They only scored 21 in the entire first half. Brewster, no good. Rebound pulled in by Ramos. Ramos now out at the races, kicks it to the corner. Inside and out, and Ramos gets the offensive rebound and the score. 24-point lead now for New Zealand, and the Philippines fans, the level of noise is going up and up here in the arena. Well, thrown away again, and there's been some poor decision making. This time it's Kwambo with the poor decision. It will remain New Zealand ball on the baseline. And the timeout has been called. And as New Zealand's lead, sorry, substitution, New Zealand's lead sits at 26. Hiram Harris comes in for Delaney. Webster now drives down the middle of the lane and gets the score. And Corey Webster has been doing that for many years. How many times have we seen that play? Just strength, persistence, quality from Webster. Into the corner, Navarro. That one's no good. Smith-Milner called for the foul as he holds Chu down. Baseline ball for the Philippines. Belangel puts it in. Bando looks to drive. Very quick first step for Lorenzo Bando. Harris has it stolen away. In fact, he gets called for the foul as he tries to get it back. Philippines with an absolute ton of energy here in the third quarter. Goes up for the score, no good. Rebound by Smith-Milner. Shea Ili has to go to the floor to recover it. That's off the foot, though, of Chu, so it will remain New Zealand ball. Ili is looking for the foul call. Yeah, off the foot of Chu. Plenty of sweat on the floor. We've got all four mops working overtime to clean the sweat up. No real surprise after this third quarter. It's had plenty of energy. It's really raced by as well. Almost 8 minutes gone here in the third quarter. New Zealand still in that driving position, pole position. They lead by 28 as they look to try and maintain their perfect start to the qualifiers. There's the away team fans, the road fans. Plenty of Philippines fans in the stands, making themselves seen to the cameras and certainly heard here. Brewster inside, has it knocked away. Great work by Navarro. Just stayed with that play right to the end. Just 2.5 seconds on the shot clock for New Zealand. Hopefully they've identified that. A little bit of time to play with, but not quite a catch and shoot. Stolen away though. Well played. I think it was by Ramos. Just a smart heads-up play, intercepted it, but his momentum was taking him out of bounds. It just throws it off the New Zealand leg to keep possession. Final 2 minutes now of this third quarter. Navarro looking for options in front of him, but nothing really presenting itself. Abarientos hands it off. And what looked like a relatively easy score was missed by Navarro. 3 goes up for New Zealand, no good. Belangel moves it out. And a 3 missed this time for Abarientos. More sweat on the floor. These players are giving everything here for this qualifier. Harris now hands it off to Brewster. Brewster wide open for 3. Nails it. And New Zealand just know they can lean each other. They can rely on that team offense to get them open shots. It's obviously down to the individual to make them at that point, but they know they're going to get open shot in the 24 seconds. Jumper goes up from Navarro, no good. Ili hands it over to Vodanovic. To Harris, who will come back out. Great ball movement, but a travelling violation called on Hiram Harris. He's had a tough few plays in the game. Not really gone his way tonight. New Zealand just playing beautiful basketball. Here's the 3 from Brewster. String music as that one hits the bottom of the bucket. Brick comes into the game for Brewster. For New Zealand and for the Philippines, Lopez now is in as Ramos heads to the bench to take his break before the fourth quarter. 31-point lead now for New Zealand. They've done a great job on both ends of the floor. Lopez behind the head pass to Navarro. That one's blocked. Ili comes away with it. Hands it off to Rusbach. He just barrels his way to the basket. Just the strength and determination gets him those 2 points, Ethan Rusbach. 7 points personal for him now. Lob pass to Lopez, gets the score, draws the foul. Great pass by Abarientos, and Lopez, here's the pass, just floats it, perfect height, perfect position, and Lopez stays with it as Illy barrels into him from behind. Lopez will head to the free throw line for that bonus shot. 1.7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Just waiting for things to be sorted so we can get the free throw underway. 1.7 has been extended out to 1.9 seconds on the quarter clock. Lopez connects with the bonus. Really not picking it up yet, but they've started the clock. I think the officials are going to make us replay the 1.9 seconds of that third quarter. I think the clock was started incorrectly. So they're going to reset the clock out to 1.9, and it'll be baseline ball again for New Zealand. Just a discussion over where the ball will reset to now. Will it be under the basket or will it be near the halfway? Coach Cameron saying, look, you realised the mistake when the ball was near the halfway line, so the inbound should be at the half. The officials just discussing whether it should be there. In fact, they're going to take it back under the basket. Seems to make sense to me. Just rewinding the game to where the point of mistake was. Ball inbounded. They're going to get a shot away. Harris does. Gets it off, but can't get the score. That would have been a way to finish the third quarter for New Zealand. But they continue to absolutely dominate this game here in Auckland. It's the Philippines 43, New Zealand 73. Here are your shooting stats so far. As you can see, New Zealand shooting well and picking up their perimeter shooting. That's what's enabled them to extend their lead out to 30 points now. Let's see if we can look back at some of the highlight plays from that third quarter. And a much more offensive focused quarter from both teams. The Philippines scoring more points in that third quarter than they did in the entire first half. So that kind of shows you what happened. However, unfortunately for them, they weren't able to pick up the intensity on the defensive end, allowing New Zealand to score 26 points and extend their lead out to 30 points now. As New Zealand move their way towards a perfect first qualification round, which is exactly what Coach Cameron and his men will have wanted. They want to head on to the second qualifying round without a loss to their name. Some tough games ahead of them against Jordan and Lebanon in the second qualifying round. They'll also have to face either Saudi Arabia or Indonesia, who at the moment are fighting out in Group C for that final spot in the second qualification round. But remember, the ultimate goal is a ticket to the World Cup next year. Group stage is taking place in Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines, with the final knockout rounds taking place in the Philippines. If you want to stay on top of things, download the Courtside 1891 app. Plenty of live streams of games for you to jump into, all the schedules and scores of basketball from around the world. A really good app that's recently launched. Definitely worth getting your hands on. Fourth quarter action underway here in Auckland. FIBA World Cup 2023 qualifier between the Philippines and New Zealand. 3 quarters down. It's Philippines 43, New Zealand 73. And the final quarter is going to open up with the foul as Abarientos steps in too close to Ethan Rusbach as he's putting the jumper up. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, just his body momentum. Steps into his landing zone. Rusbach certainly made the most of it, but he still gets the free throw attempts. Ethan Rusbach, one of those critical role players for New Zealand. Not necessarily the superstar starting 5 member, but you would hard to have a discussion about the rise and success of Kiwi basketball without Rusbach's name being mentioned quite a few times. Tamayo now puts it inside to Abarientos. And Abarientos has brought energy to the game, brought some heart to the game, which the fans have really enjoyed. Shot clock down to 5. Tamayo, wow, what a shot from the corner. Shot clock expiring. And the young gun just showing how many strings to his bow. Vodanovic gets the score, draws the foul. Chu's going to get called for that one. And Vodanovic just bodies his way to the bucket. Here's the play, though, from Tamayo. What a game he's had so far. Carl Tamayo up to 16 points now, 5 rebounds. Do bear in mind he's 21 years of age. Not going to lie, I do hope they include him on the Asia Cup roster for the tournament in Jakarta in a couple of weeks. Great to see what he can develop into. And Vodanovic connects with the 3-point play. New Zealand's lead at 33 now. Abarientos pulls up, long 2, rattles that one home. That's his second bucket of the game. Rusbach, catch and shoot for 3, comes up short. What a powerful play as we see Shea Ili going strong, but he's going to get called for the offensive foul. Clearing out as he goes to the bucket for the rebound. To see a replay of that one. Like a strong play, but he's used his arms to clean out. Let's have a look. You can't really see in that camera angle. Eddie's called for the foul. Navarro now. Looking to hand it off to Malangel. Has to come back to Tamayo instead, who steps out of bounds, so that will be a turnover. And we've seen a lot of upside for Carl Tamayo. The 21-year-old has really stood out as one of the better young players in this roster, which is full of great young players for the Philippines. He's also shown some of the young elements in his game, as well as Vodanovic just steps into a 3 and drains it. Vodanovic certainly not going to be outdone here today. He's looking for his double-double. He's up to 8 points and 9 rebounds. Had a double-double in the first game against the Philippines. Wants to go again with that. Lopez now, strong move. Comes up short though. Rebound pulled down by Britt. Foul's going to be called on Tamayo. Lovely little move there by Britt. It was that hesitation on the right hand, just drawing the body weight, the momentum of Tamayo too far in one direction and made him pay with a quick change of direction. Britt now inside, hesitation again. That score will count as it was on the glass. Lopez just a little bit late to the show. Here's Tamayo. The medical team will come on to see him. That's not a good sign for the Philippines. They have a big game on Sunday against India. As it looks like they're moving towards a loss here, as we see playing Cameron come into the action, 21 years of age. There's his dad, head coach Pero Cameron. As Tamayo heads to the bench, hobbling pretty hard. He doesn't look happy at all. It's not good for coach Vucinic. As I say, they've got a big game on Sunday against India. I want to win that one. Belangel now being guarded by Cameron. Balls up for the three, nails the three. Smart play by Sam Joseph Belangel. Cameron kicks it to the corner, wide open. The jumper is good. 36-point lead for New Zealand, and they started slowly from the perimeter. They really did, hardly hitting anything in the first half, but they found their formula in the second half, raising their shooting percentage from deep up to 30. Lopez now going up against Nartai. Into the corner, shot goes up, that one's no good. Rebound though is for the Philippines, and the hustle is there, but the finish isn't quite as a higher level. Cameron, wide open three. Off target, that one a little bit to the left. 6.5 minutes still to play here. New Zealand with a commanding lead, and the game's gone a little bit scrappy at the moment. Both teams maybe just losing some discipline, which is often the case when you see a game extend out to this kind of lead. It'll be a baseline ball for the Philippines though. Belangel is there to put it in. Shot clock at 9. Stolen away, good read by Nartai. He's with Cameron. Oh, Nartai with the thunder. Jordan Nartai goes to the top floor, throws it down. Look at this, steals it away. You thought maybe he's going to give it up to Cameron. Not this time. Gets up high. Puts down the dunk. Gives a little look to the Philippines fans on the baseline. And by the hush that you can hear in the arena, you can see what a big play that was. And he'll go to the free throw line for the and one. Nartai at the line. Makes them pay to the fullest extent with the bonus from the free throw line. 39-point lead now for New Zealand. Nartai up to double digits with that free throw make. He has 10 points, 3 from 6 from the field. Baseline drive by Lopez, just spills it out of bounds though, so it'll be a New Zealand ball. Nartai going again. Oh my goodness me! Nartai with back-to-back jams, and he likes it as much as we do. Jordan Nartai putting on a show here in Auckland. Oh, and at the other end, Lopez gets the and one play. Here's a replay. Nartai puts the poster on Lopez. Look at his face. He's enjoying the game. There's the flex, there's the pump. Jordan Nartai, he is all in for the Tall Blacks. He heads to the bench. Plenty of smiles and slaps on the back from his teammates. Lopez now at the free throw line. It's the bonus. New Zealand's lead at 38. Jordan Nartai just signing out of this game potentially with back-to-back jams. If one of those doesn't make the highlight reel, I'll be absolutely amazed. There's the lob pass to Timmins, can't get the score, but gets the offensive rebound and a little soft touch with the right hand, gets him his 2 points. Ramos now. New Zealand's lead is at 40. Thrown away by Quambao. And Cameron will bring it up the floor for New Zealand. Waits for the screen from Timmins. Goes inside, can't get the score, but Cameron will head to the free throw line.
Draws the foul.
Cameron will head to the free throw line.
Celebrating his birthday, he will go to the line for 2, and it's a third personal for Ramos.
Gets the score from the free throw line. I'm sure his dad is proud. Some birthday points for Flynn Cameron. Gets the second to go as well. That's not bad. Getting his first points for the national team. Stolen away almost. Flynn Cameron, potential superstar of the future for New Zealand basketball. What a pass outside. Good selfless play. Abarientos can't get the score though. That would have been the cherry on top of the cake for that offense. Minutes 33 to go as Abarientos heads to the bench and Ravenna comes back into the action. Strong move by Rusbach to the bucket, gets himself the score. He's up to 14 points now. Sorry, 12 points. Ramos almost has it knocked away by Timmins. Shot clock at 8. To the corner. A jumper gets the roll. Quambao. Cameron now. And hand it back to Britt, to Harris. Good teamwork. Hiram Harris will head to the free throw line. As Sean Chu is called for the foul. Back it's Quambao who is called for the foul. And we see Quambao come out of the game. Into the action is Ildefonso. Only played a little over 2 minutes so far. Sean Ildefonso. Harris hits the first of his 2. His first points of the game. Does have 5 rebounds though. Hits the second. That takes New Zealand to 100 points. And they have been impressive offensively so far. They've been averaging over 90 points a game. 95 points a game, in fact. They've won every game by at least 25 points. Their average winning margin is 38. It's a real statement of intent from New Zealand in these qualifiers. Obviously, with the restructure of Asia and Oceania in recent years, it's for Australia and New Zealand primarily to transfer their dominance across to the Asia region, and they've certainly started to do that. Shot goes up, no good. The follow is almost huge from Abando. Britt now, there's the lob. Oh, and Harris can't get the score. He has had a tough night. There's not many New Zealand players that you can level much criticism against, but Hiram Harris hasn't had the best of games. Inside to Chu now. That's thrown straight out of bounds. So it'll be a New Zealand ball. A 44-point lead for New Zealand against a very young Philippines team. Plenty of learning going on for the Philippines today. Cameron to the corner to Britt. That's long. Cameron gets the rebound though and gets the score. More points for Flynn Cameron on his debut. Abando now looking to shape up against Rusbat. Shot clock at 8. Double team comes across. Abando inside, floats the right hand and gets the roll for the score. Cameron hands it off. Strong move by Timmins. Nice feed by Cameron. Timmins up to 4 points, 5 rebounds as well for the big man. Abando swatted away but fouled. Timmins called for that foul.
It's a foul on Seth Timmins from the fullbacks. The second for the evening. And number 10, Abando will go to the line for 2 shots.
Abando heads to the free throw line for shots. Abando, one of those highlight players that people have signalled really could step up and play a bigger part. Shown glimmers of it here today. Maybe not the consistency that he needs. Certainly the talent is there. But consistency is key at this level. You need to be able to do it game in, game out. As he hits both from the free throw line. Takes the New Zealand lead to 44. Timmins now back to Cameron. Cameron drives inside, gets himself another score. Cameron up to 6 points now. Only played a little over 6 minutes of the game. 90 seconds left on the game clock in what has been a one-sided battle here in Auckland. Ravenna can't get the score and the loose ball eventually comes to New Zealand. Britt now hands it off and Hiram Harris underlines what has been a tough game for him as he spills it out of bounds. Just a little bit of moisture on the ball, so the officials are going to swap that one up. Get a dry ball on the floor.
Please collect your prize. Go to the foyer now and collect your prize. Jesna Syed.
Ramos breaks through the defense, hands it off to Ildefonso. Puts up the three, doesn't get it to go. Britt with the rebound. He leads the transition, hands it off. Cameron for three. That one's short, just takes a layer of paint off the front of the ring. Final minute of the game. Ramos now shaping up, pulls the trigger on the three. no good, and that has been one of the big parts of the Philippines' struggles here today. Has just been the problems they've had from outside. A very young Philippines roster, a very steep learning curve for them. As we see Britt just dribbling the ball out, there's a 10-second shot clock differential, so the shot clock buzzer will go to them, and they'll hand it back to the Philippines for the final 9.5 seconds of the game. This one's closed out here. Philippines 60, New Zealand 106. Dominant performance from New Zealand. Plenty of Philippines fans have made some noise. They've done what they can for their team, but it's not been enough, as New Zealand have been absolutely rampant here in Auckland.
Ladies and gentlemen, just resetting the game clock.
Just an issue with the game clock at the moment.
Obviously, at the conclusion of this match, ladies and gentlemen, please refrain from stepping on the court. You're not allowed to go on the court. 11 seconds left in the match.
And it was 11 seconds, didn't quite stop the clock in time, but the Philippines are just going to dribble this one out. 46-point win for New Zealand. Great job by Coach Cameron and his team. They have done as expected, put on a big performance. The big names have stepped up for New Zealand and secured them their 4th win in 4 games here in the qualifiers. The fans have enjoyed it, and rightfully so. Final score, the Philippines 60, New Zealand 106. A real statement of intent from the New Zealand team. Coach Cameron brought together a roster full of the big names, the big hitters, and they have delivered. And they really have shown a big step towards being at the World Cup next year. They keep their perfect record, 4 wins out of 4 for Coach Cameron and his men. As the players show some appreciation for the fans. The fans certainly have been wonderful here in Auckland today. They put on plenty of noise for the teams. Here are your shooting percentages. 21 from 22 from the line for New Zealand. 95% is pretty impressive. But it was the 3-point shooting in the second half that broke the back of the Philippines. And New Zealand's strong rebounding performance, out-rebounding the Philippines by 15. Leading the way in the end was Dion Brewster. He had 15 points. Delaney with 14. Nartai with 12. For the Philippines, it was the young man, Tamayo, with 16, who was the highlight step out for them. Here are some of the highlight plays from that second half of action, as we see Webster pulling up for the jumper. But it really was New Zealand all the way. A wonderful third quarter of high scoring for both teams, but then the fourth quarter, New Zealand really did just wrestle full control of the game, outscoring the Philippines 33-17. Some big performances throughout for the Philippines. 2 players in double digits. Carl Tamayo, 16 points, 5 rebounds for him. Went off injured there in the fourth quarter. For all involved, you kind of hope that the injury wasn't too bad. Looked like an ankle injury, and that he will be back for Sunday's game against India. Also in double digits for the Philippines was Abando. He had 11 points and a steal to his name. As for New Zealand, they had 6 players in double digits, a real team performance. Dion Brewster leading the way with 15 points. You then had Delaney with 14, Rusbach with 12, Nartai with 12, Webster with 11, and Shea Illy with 10. Finn Delaney, the standout for me, 14 points and 7 rebounds for him. Bogdanovic, 2 points and a rebound away from a double-double. He had 8 points and 9 rebounds. So, a big performance from New Zealand. This closes out their first qualification window. They will finish top of the group here in Group A. 4 wins, no losses. They'll advance to the second qualification round, as will the Philippines, but the Philippines still have one more game to play as they take on India on Sunday. Jordan Nartai with a couple of absolutely nasty jams. to close out the game. He enjoyed himself in that second half. He enjoyed himself quite a bit, to be fair. For the Philippines, their focus will now go to that game against India on Sunday. The Philippines, obviously, as a host nation, have already qualified for the World Cup. These qualifiers are their preparation for that tournament, and it is a huge tournament for them. The honour of their nation to host that tournament, and the way the fans are going to react to it will be off the charts, I can guarantee you that. But it's for them to put in a big performance. These teams now will look across to round 2 of the qualifiers, where they will face Jordan, Lebanon, and either Saudi Arabia or Indonesia. For New Zealand, their qualification first round couldn't have gone better if asked. Here is the group as it stands with one game remaining. New Zealand top of the group, 4-0. Philippines moved to a 1-2 record. India on an 0-3 record. So it will all come down to that final game on Sunday for who will finish second and who will finish third. All three of these teams will progress through to that second round of qualifiers here for the World Cup. A great atmosphere here in Auckland. The fans have turned out in big numbers for what has been a wonderful game in the World Cup qualifiers. And at the final buzzer, New Zealand have put on a dominant performance. They've won this one by 46. It was Philippines 60, New Zealand 106. Thank you so much for joining me.